Dwight, you played 1 year with Andrew Luck, and there's a new 6-episode podcast about Andrew Luck, and it's supposed to be spectacular. Zach Kiefer did it. And just go back to that year, the first meeting, the first practice. You're a smart guy. What did you observe? What did you see initially?
Well, I seen a guy who loved the game of football, all right? And his ego wasn't bigger than the building. He was a guy that just wanted to go out there, perform, win, and kind of do it the way that you're supposed to do it. And that means you put the time in off the field. And then when you get on the field, you kind of just embrace the team and you be part of that team. And he was a rookie, obviously, first round draft pick and all of that, all the hype. But he wasn't too big for anything. He was just one of the guys. And that's what we really loved about him.
You know, as you watched his early career, and it was your last year, I think, and it was his first year, he was getting beat up by the offensive line. Did you have a sense very early in his career, fellas, this is not going to end well? This kid is hurt constantly.
Well, it's kind of hard to tell. The truth is, the way that he plays, he's such a competitive player. He's going to try to get that first down no matter what.
Right.
All right. And he wasn't like, Peyton. All right. If you get close to Peyton, Peyton's probably going to, take a fall before he goes out there and tries to get concussed trying to get a first down. All right. But that wasn't Andrew. Andrew was one of those guys that he put himself always in these situations to where as though you're like, man, I hope he gets up from that. And I think it just took his toll.
Yeah. So, as we embark on a new season, that you overwhelmingly stayed healthy for a majority of your career. Jimmy Garoppolo is an interesting player. I don't know how great he is, but he's got a lot of dude qualities. He's got a lot of guy qualities where guys like him. He goes to Lambeau. He doesn't love cold weather. He outplays, Aaron Rodgers. Some guys are talented, but they don't feel like part of the group. Jimmy always feels like he'd be a great guy to go to Vegas with. He'd be a great guy to go, Like, he's a guy's guy. But I do worry about some of the physicality because, as you know, having played Dwight, some guys just get hurt more. Would you sign Garoppolo for 2 or 3 years with his history?
I would. I mean, there's something has to be said for winning football games in the National Football League. And he has won a bunch of them in the playoffs, especially. Maybe he didn't win the big one, but it's not all on him. And this is a team sport, so it's not all about the quarterback. It's about putting everything together and performing at the perfect time, which would be during those big moments, big games. I would say the one thing Jimmy needs to learn is, look, you have to let the game come to him a little bit more and stop forcing the ball, kind of like how Tom plays. All right, they both were at the Patriots, right? So that he should understand that a little bit more, because I think the turnover touchdown ratio isn't great. But I think for him, as long as he continues to compete like he does, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah. So Matt Ryan is now quarterback for the Colts. I never thought the Falcons were poorly run. I thought they drafted well and were pretty smart. But I do feel like sometimes for athletes, it's just time for a change. I want to see Matt Ryan in another uniform. How do you think he'll perform in Indy? What works for you?
I think it's an awesome fit. To be quite honest with you, he reminds me so much about like Peyton. Peyton was similar to Ryan. Obviously I played with both of those guys. He's going to control that offense. He's going to get that offense in the perfect positions to make plays. All right. It's not always going to be throw the ball down the field and hit the 40-yard receiver down. It's going to be throwing the right pass, throwing the check down when it's happened, getting the offense in the perfect run so Jonathan Taylor can do his thing. That is what he's going to do the best. And I think that's what we've been missing, in the last few years, is just having that quarterback to always putting us in the perfect play and then executing it. And it's not always about throwing for 5,000 yards. It's just about not turning the ball over in those key moments.
Dwight, it's interesting. You play a really valuable position, and you look at a team like the Rams. They give up first-round picks. They're not going to pay safeties. They're not going to pay tight ends. They're not going to pay interior linemen. They'll pay a fortune for an edge rusher, a quarterback, a weapon, and maybe an elite corner. And now you did very well for yourself financially, and you were credited with being a very valuable person. But the game, it seems to me that there was a time when we looked at the middle of the field and the Mike linebacker, And I find that the NFL, with their rules, the perimeter players now, corners, edge rushers, further away from the ball players, I feel like in the last 5 years, that's where the league has gone. I was told forever, you draft closer to the ball. Forever. Quarterback, Mike linebacker, nose tackle. The current NFL, do you wish you would have played in, it's a little more finesse. You would probably have even more value. When you watch the game today, do you ever think to yourself, man, I am built for today's game. Get after the quarterback.
That's a great question. I hadn't really thought about it. I think that obviously, they're paying guys a lot more money right now for doing a whole lot less. I see that, and that's a credit to the game and how popular it is. I know when I played, you could hit a quarterback pretty much as hard as you kind of wanted to, and that's not an issue. So if I'm playing now, do I get injected? I don't know. Do I get fined? I don't know. But I love the era that I played in. I think it was a perfect era for me. But I do see the other side of how they're paying guys, and they're paying those edge rushers, those guys on that outside interior, even more money. So if I would have played now, I probably would have made a little bit more money, but I did well for myself. Dwight
Freeney, who just you finished tied for 41st out of 87. Most defensive big guys aren't great golfers. So it's mostly quarterbacks and punters and guys that never get hit. So congratulations. I didn't watch you play, but apparently you got a pretty good stick there.
Yeah, you know what? I have too much time on my hands right now. So, we'll see what happens next year. Maybe that goes up or down. Maybe that'd be a good thing or bad thing. I don't know.
Dwight, good seeing you again. Thanks for checking in with us.
All right. Thank you for having me. Take care.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.